Mississippi. We're here at the Greater Starkville Development Partnership. And joining us now, Bart Williams, a Mississippi senator who represents District 15. That includes Choctaw, Montgomery, Oktibbeha, and Webster counties. Thanks for coming on, Bart. Appreciate it, man. It's a big week up here.
Yeah, it's been a big week. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, sir. So we've had the mayor on, and we've had Joe Max, and, of course, Mr. Tony, the chair of the Golden Triangle Development Link. And they're all beaming with pride, as they should be, because it's, I think this is a game changer for the Golden Triangle area and arguably the state of Mississippi as well.
No doubt, no doubt. It is definitely a game changer. I was kind of reflecting on it since we went through the whirlwind of the week. It's kind of like we're becoming Pittsburgh South, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Analogy I made a while ago, home runs are great, grand slams are great, but we just won the World Series. So this is just a tremendous accomplishment for the state of Mississippi and especially for us here in the Golden Triangle.
You got to be pleased that the governor calls a special session to deal with this situation.
Yes,
had to clean up some things and approve this incentive package, of course. And that went through really on an uneventful basis. You got to be pleased that your colleagues in the Senate and, of course, over there on the House were fully supportive of this for the most part.
Absolutely. The Senate voted unanimously for the 6-hour session to do this. Again, as I said a while ago, I was able to spend a lot of time with Joe Max and his crew Monday. I spent time with the Lieutenant Governor in his office Wednesday with a bunch of questions that we had. It was very well vetted, very well planned and thought out. I think the teams that MDA, the links, leadership in the state, they all went through this with a fine-tooth comb. I mean, the details are there. It's just a very good piece of work. And I think that hopefully we as legislature showed the country and the world that, we are open for business. We're about recruiting good, high-paying jobs to the state of Mississippi, and we'll do our part as a legislature to be involved in that and bring you here.
And I think something that may get overlooked a bit, Senator, is that this company and other companies are going to see that this truly was a collaborative team effort from the local municipal level all the way up to the state legislature and the governor's office, and of course the communities as well and the people to pull this thing off.
Absolutely, and we've had talks since this has come about with the workforce development pieces and components of this. It's not that, okay, we've landed this guy and we're going to go to the next one. The support's going to be here, and then for those companies that are still here, there's going to be a lot of support for them in making sure we take care of those companies as we continue to go forward. And as you said, it truly takes a village.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, I'm proud of the way the state of Mississippi worked together at all levels and all factions to do something good for the state, for the communities, and for the state. Let's talk a little bit about the legislative session. You had a very busy 2022 session, is certainly one way to put it. And you're just a couple of months away now from headed back down to the Capitol to get things started again. What's on the radar that you see coming up this year?
Well, we've got several things coming up this year. Like you said, been a paramount session that we just got through with, and this special session. It's been great to be part of a lot of that. We've still got a lot of money in the bank. We've got $350 million in ARPA money we need to talk about and what we need to do with it. I think that hopefully we'll see a lot of that go in the ground, literally. Our roads and bridges, those we gave them about $230 million last year. Hopefully we'll do that again this year. We still need that infrastructure. I think MDOT, under their new leadership, is doing an outstanding job at delivering. They're taking more money and delivering projects. If you're going throughout the state, you see them all over doing stuff, and I think that's tremendous. We still need greater investment there. We've got a $1.4 billion surplus. We probably allocated a little bit of that the other day towards this project that we did, but trying to be wise with the disbursement of those monies. I think we've got some issues that are, I don't know if they're going to be difficult, but they're going to be complicated. Senator Boyd from up in Oxford, she's been working very, very hard and very diligently to deal on what things we need to do after the Dobbs decision. We've had a tremendous victory as conservatives in the Dobbs decision in Washington, but as a result of that, there's going to be a consequence that we should deal with, and I think that she and her committee have been doing a very diligent effort and will come to us in the legislature with some things that we need to do to deal with the aftermath of that. It's great stuff, don't get me wrong. I mean, just the protection of human life and the decisions that have been made are great, but as those new human lives come in, how we deal with those, and we as a government, what our role in that and trying to take that responsibility that we need. Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be front and center. Something that didn't get accomplished last session that comes to mind, we couldn't get agreement between the two chambers, was on the citizen-initiated ballot measure process, which, of course, for the most part, has been nullified by the Supreme Court. Do you see that coming up again?
It's been mentioned. I think there is a good opportunity that we'll see that come up. And, I think as we do need to have a mechanism in place if you're going to have a leadership body that's being inept and a way to circumvent that. So I think there's going to be some good conversation about that and the proper way to do that. With it being said, I think an initiative process, if done improperly, can be a bad thing. I think there's some states that have done it in such a ways. I understand Alaska's having some concerns about the way it's being dealt with there. So we want to do it right. We don't want to overanalyze to the point that we paralyze, but at the same time, we want to be thorough and complete in the legislation that we do. In the 2 short years I've been there, I've found out we need to vet and we need to ask the questions. We need to look at who's done it wrong, who's done it right as we do it. So I think we'll see something come this year.
Yeah. Okay. I know a lot of folks are curious about that.
Yes,
that kind of was the sort of the hanging issue that got tabled, if you will. I mean, it got a lot of traction. Bills were introduced and just couldn't get it across the finish line. What about this has been in the news quite a bit of late is the healthcare economy in the state of Mississippi. Lots of hospitals are expressing concerns about their bottom lines. In fact, some are actually losing money, as you well know. And this isn't something that's going away. Do you feel like that will be a topic of discussion in the legislature this year? Yes,
sir. I do. In some preliminary conversations, it's already come up. I did spend some time with some of the local hospital administrators that are in District 15 that I serve. And I will say that I think that the hospitals in this district, they're not on the point of bankruptcy or anything of that nature. Financially challenging is a good way to put it for now. Something they can definitely live through, but something that's definitely not sustainable. So, yes, there's definitely, if we're not in a crisis mode, if we don't change things or we don't do something, we're going to be there in short order. Leadership has expressed the concern as well, and I think we'll see some conversation about that. I don't know what that answer is, but I think it will be a priority as we go into the session in 23.
Yeah, and last time I talked to Delbert, the lieutenant governor, and I don't think I'm talking out of school here. It was a private conversation. He indicated he didn't think Medicaid expansion, which is typically kind of the default, certainly from the Democrat position, that's what we got to do to fix the health care system. He didn't really feel like that was the answer, that was the solution. That's what he shared with me. And so I think it's a situation, honestly, Senator, where we just got to get all the brain power assembled in a room for however long it takes to just come up and think out of the box about how we can address this issue.
I couldn't agree with you more. Medicaid expansion at best in this conversation is a Band-Aid. It may prolong the inevitable. I think we've got several dynamics happening. We have an industry that's changing. I think the business model has to change as we've evolved with technology. We have a lot more outpatient things that happen that takes a lot of revenue away from the hospital. So we've got to rethink how the revenue streams come into the hospital. So I think within the industry itself, there's a recreation of how they make money. The Mississippi Hospital Association, I've gone to them for information. They seem to have a lot of things together, have a good continuity with the hospitals throughout the state. Very, very impressed with their leadership. So you're exactly right. We need to get in the room with the industry leaders, the associations, the leadership, and find out a plan and a way forward with it. Absolutely.
Well, it's not going away. We know that, and I know the lieutenant governor has, just in talking to him, serious concerns. I'm not saying that the governor, the speaker, don't as well. I just hadn't talked to them. I know they're aware of this. They're aware of this problem, and
I'm on my side of the building.
I understand, and hopefully something can come about. Anything else that kind of crops up? It's an election year, of course, and sometimes that means a rather mild session.
Well, I've heard that kind of addressed two ways. Yes, there may not be controversial legislation, and I heard the comment is we got hired to go down there and do something. If it's controversial, let's do it. If we get fired, we get fired. I'm kind of that camp. I got hired to do something. Now, I haven't been through a re-election cycle, so I probably should be a little cautious in making that statement.
You're running, aren't you?
I am running. Okay. I am running. Yes, I'm going to, like I say, it's a temp job. I don't even get the 4-year tenure here. I got 3, but I am going to ask for the people to rehire me if they will. Like I say, I think with the surplus of capital we've got, trying to be good stewards of that and put that where we should, put it in infrastructure. Lieutenant Governor's been very animate, and the Speaker in the House as well. Put it in the ground. We spent a lot of money on rural waters through the ARPA funds. We spent a lot of money in the municipalities. These things are generational and transformational. The Lieutenant Governor's words, not mine, but That's true, and I think that's really good. It's something that's not, quote, sexy, but it's going to be here a long time after we're gone, and we need that money to go where it's going. I think the implementation of this program has been exceptional. So making sure of that. Another thing I think that we once over, we didn't borrow any money last year.
Right.
And we're hoping not going to borrow any money this year. That's $600-700 million that we're not paying interest on. That's several $1 million a month to our general fund. So I think these little steps physically move us more and more in a very good position.
Yep. Ought to be an interesting session. Senator, we really appreciate you coming on. Senator Bart Williams.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to all the success here in the Golden Triangle as well.
Glad to be part. Thank you, sir.
We'll step aside for a break right here. We got the final segment coming up on Middays. We are in Starkville at the Greater Starkville Development Partnership.